Welcome to Lab02 Huawei VRP and configuration basics. I'm Dr. Tan. So I will guide you step by step how you're going to complete your Lab2 if you cannot follow the Lab2 documentation step. So for this lab, basically we will going to explore some of the basic operations of the Huawei VRP system. Okay, by configuring some of the Huawei devices lah. Okay, so on this lab, basically you will go into familiar yourself with the commands command. Okay, and then how basically you're going to enter a different view from the user view. Okay, what is the difference from the system view, and also you move to the interface view to do some of the configuration. So in case you forgot, you cannot remember all the commands. Okay, the syntax there, so you can look in for the helps. Okay, how actually you're going to trigger the helps to give you some hints or some ticks to continue your configurations. And also in case you are doing the configurations incorrectly or wrong, okay, you do the mistake on your configuration. Example, you put the wrong IP address. So how actually you going to restore back, okay, or delete, okay, or recover back, okay, from the commands. Okay, example negate, that means always you invoke is a undo as keywords there lah. And also how you're going to familiar yourself with some of the common shortcut key. Okay, so every lab exercise, most of the times before we start to doing the lab exercise, we will going to get familiar ourselves with the topology. What kind of the network topology for us, we need to draw it in order to support the configurations word. Okay, so you need to, first thing you need to open against the ENSP that you have installed last week, okay, on the lab 1. Okay, you just open an 8. Okay, so on this ENSP is a simulator tools using the virtualizations technology there. So we will not going to using the example on here. So what we were going to do is you need to create a new topology for you to set up the device. Same like the lab given lab topology there. Only involve one routers and also the PC. And then you will just physically access to the router by connecting it to your PC using a serial console port there. Okay, so you go back to your ENSP. How you going to create the blend new topology? You need to select a new topology just on the top left. Okay, the menu there, new, select new topology. So click on it, it will going to give you a blank empty topology on that. Okay, the first thing on here you were going to select is a router. Right, you were going to select the router. So you can just going to select the router or select any series of the router that you prefer lah. Or you can just select by default one. Okay, so you just drag and drop example. Okay, so on here you can going to put it any place, anywhere, but normally we will follow the setup there lah, to facilitate how actually you do the configurations later on. So you name your router as a router. You can just label, click the label and change the name, okay, of the label. This one is only for the visualize, for the figure only. Later, so we were going to explore the commands, how actually you going to name your router to change it at the system using your command. Okay, so after that, they also need one PC, right? If you look in on the configurations on here, topology, where is it? Okay, you need one PC. So you will just select, click to the icon, then you can select your PC lah. Okay, so you name it as a PC. Okay, the next step you will going to connect both router to your PC. That means you actually physically can be accessed to the router. So we were using a console line. Okay, so to select a console line, you're going to select the outdoor. Okay, cable, okay, communications media. Then you're going to select this one, CTL, stand for the console line between your PC and your network devices. So you're just going to create it, select RS232, then you're going to connect to your PC. It's a console there. Okay, so you can also like the topology there. You're going to put some comments on here. You just going to create the text. Then here I'm going to name it. I using is a console port. So they will going to name it. Okay. So basically, most of the times the students you are going to complain that I using a simulator tool, but I actually don't really understand what actually is a device, how the device, real device it will be look like. Okay, so you can go into on ENSP, basically you can go into select the routers, you just select right click, then you go into click the settings. Actually you can go in to see how the real device is look for. So for this one we are using the router AR1200 series lah. So you can go into looking, okay, they will show you the front end, how it will be look like, front end, okay. So, and then on the back end side, okay, how it will be look like. And then this one, it will be a power supply. So they provide a two GE, okay, Giga Ethernet port for the wide area remote. And also they provide a AT, okay, FE Ethernet port for you. And also this one is a console port. Okay, in case this one is because I explained to you, so you're going to understand. You can go into quick start the device. You just assume like you have plugged in the power supplies. Okay, then you have plugged in the console already. Then you just going to turn on. So they were going to start the device. Okay, so while we are waiting them to start the device, in case sometimes you looking on here but you don't know what actually each of the port is, basically you can go into Google. Okay, example now I want to study more on the AR200 series router. Maybe I just type on this one, so I can go into click on here, okay, to look in on the description. So normally the Huawei will provide a real documentations about all their devices. So you just search from it, they will go in to tell you lah what actually the um, devices and how actually each of the ports and their functioning. Okay, you can go into study on it. Okay, so that's when you move to the industry training or practicals, right? So you're not getting blur lah how the device it will be looked for. So remember, ENSP is not only using for the student to study, but it also using by the Huawei partner customer, okay, to design a network solution to testing it, okay, before they going to conduct a real world deployment there. Okay, so we go back to here. Okay, you looking on these routers, I can go into like now, okay, is I already kickstart kan. So how you going to stop the device? You can go in just to stop the device. Okay, before I continue, so some student, you still will be blur how actually the console port to connect, okay, the cables, it will be look like. So this one basically is like this. Okay, so this one we will going to connect to your routers, network devices, and then this one is connect to a PC. You also can using a USB types lah to connect. So that's why just now I said when you're going to using a console cable or console port, basically you are present physically. Okay, but after you set up for your start your device for the first time, you set up to allow you configure your router or your network devices to allow remove access. Okay, we learned about the telnet, right? You can remove access to your your network device, router or switch. So actually you can go into access it from far away lah, not need physically present. Okay, because this one is just our first lab to do familiar ourselves with the devices. We just go into using a console port lah. Okay, so in a real world, you are going to looking, you plug in like that. Okay, and also another things, once you already using on it, okay, how actually your PC going to access the CMD, the commands console from the router? You still need to install the devices. Okay, normally we call it as you can using quite a lot of the choices lah. The basic one you can go into select PuTTY, or even like me, I like to using this one. Okay, more best terms, it's up to you. So example for the PuTTY. Okay, so you can go into search and download. So most of the times, if you're using a PuTTY, okay, you need to select, okay, for your here, serial here. So you need to check, okay, when you plug in, okay, the port to your PC, you need to detect on, go through your device manager and going to find out which of the comms. Sometimes it's not COM1, you might have another one, right? So you have a COM2, COM3 or COM4. Okay, so you have to put it the correct one, nah? And then you go into connect on it. Or another one, you also can using this one PuTTY is a common, nah? Or you can using this one. Okay, always we can use it lah also. So this one they have more treasures lah, many things that you can going to use. So make sure you're going to select this one, and then you're going to select the console, which of the console serial ports, COM1, COM2 or COM3 that's you going to connect on it. But remember, this one is you physically, okay, you physically present. Okay, so now we settle the in a real world on how actually you going to work it. We start with doing our lab step by step lah. Okay, so we go back to our lab. Okay, the first, what actually we going to do, most of the time they will summarize it as a roadmap for you to get a big picture what actually you were going to do for this lab lah. So for this lab, basically you just need to complete some of the very basic fundamentals configurations. Then you will going to learn how actually you're going to enter a different view of the devices. That means from the user, what we mean by the system view, and what we mean by the interface view. And then how actually you're going to define the name of your device. That means I want to put the device as a router 1, router 2. So how actually I going to name it? And then how actually you're going to assign the IP address to your router under the interface view. Okay, then you will also going to learn, okay, after I done all the configurations on my devices, so how actually I going to set the configurations, okay, and then to make it whenever I want to use it, my configurations for my device to run, okay, to my device running based on the configurations that I have configured. Okay, so you need to set it, and then you are going to start your device to tap so that it will going to change to the configurations that you have made lah. Okay, so now let us start step by step. If you cannot follow, you can do it by your own. You no need to follow my video. But if you cannot do it, or you want to follow me to more explanation, so you can just follow this video lah. Okay, so the step 1, you need to log in the CLI of the router through the console. So basically, most of the times, because here now we are using a ENSP, so you just go into, most of the times you can just highlight. You no need to right click, select a setting, each of the device, and then you start it. Because sometimes your topology, you might have 5 or 6 routers or the switch there. Okay, so you can just select all, and then you make sure you start the device. Okay, so in a real world, as just now what I said, okay, for you, first you need to connect your console port, okay, devices to your PC. Then you have to install some kind like a PuTTY and also the mobile externs or any other software lah, okay, for you to access and do the CMD, to access the CMD of the devices there. Okay, so this one I close first. Okay, so now how I know my device is starting. So normally you are going to see the line will going to change to the green color lah. Okay, or you can just click how I going to access. So normally in a real world, you need to connect using a PuTTY and then key in the password to log into your devices lah, except for you running for the first time. Okay, so here you just going to click this CLI, okay, your console, Windows there, okay, your console. So you click it, they will going to show you that particular device lah, router. Okay, so whenever you see the Huawei, that means actually the system, the device is already start and running lah. Okay, so when you going to see on this one, that means you already are logged in. Okay, but remember, sometimes we were going to set some login password lah. That means you have to key in your password in order to access to that particular device and do the configuration step. Okay, let us continue to the step 2. Okay, now I already see this Huawei tab, right? Okay, we were going to check what actually is the software that have been installed. Of course, Huawei, we were using a Huawei Versatile Routing Platform software, or we call it as a VRP. Just like you have your laptops. Okay, your laptops, you need to install Windows, right? As your operating system, okay, for you to interact with your hardware. So the same things from here, how actually you going to control the hardware. So you need a software, okay, Huawei Versatile Routing P, okay. Then we can go in to follow the command here, display versions. So you can go into type somewhere my command on here. So maybe on here I just open, okay. So you just going to type display version. Okay, you always can go into type the full sentence like here, display versions. But of course, you can go into type. To be fast, always we were going to type shortcut, especially when you're going to join the Huawei ICT competitions, you need to be a fast. Okay, so you just type a short form, display versions. Okay, so they were going to display to you what kind of the software, which of the versions, okay, they are using. Okay, AR1200 is a device name series. And then V200R C, what actually is the meanings of this? Actually, they are mentioning the versions of the software. Okay, V is stand for the major versions lah. Okay, R is stand for the minor versions. C is stand for the stable. Okay, you look in, sometimes you will have some example on here. You are going to see, okay, they are using a router is a AR651C series. Then they are is a versions 300 is a version. Okay, this one is a this one is a major versions, this one is a minor versions, and then this one is showing is a stable version, delete. So SP, normally you when you're going to download your Windows update, you are also going to see the service pack, right? So SP is stand for the service pack that they release to fix that particular bugs or the issues. Okay, service pack is a service pack, and then this one is a punch versions lah, stable C versions. Okay, the punch, PATCH. Okay, then you were going to see they were going to display to you lah what kind of the software, and then how actually your MPU and also the LPU unit for the devices. So this one, how you going to check the versions, device versions, you were going to using display version. Okay, the next step we were going to learn is how actually you going to name your device name, because sometimes in a real world we have many examples. On this topology I only have one router, but sometimes my topology I may have 2 or 3 router. So how actually I going to differentiate all of this router, so I can go into name this router. So for this hands-on, they ask you to name it as a datacom router, but I want you to name it follows your metric number. Okay, so let us do it together. Where is it, my console? So the same things to name. Okay, maybe this one I just follow. I just open this one is enough. Okay, so always if you want to name your device name, you have to enter a system view. Okay, now you going to see you are under the user view. So how I going to enter the system view? I can go into just follow on here. You're going to type the full sentence system view, or you can just using a short form 6 enter. So now they were telling you now you are enter the system view. So for you to differentiate, you looking on here. If I under the user view, so it will going to show you is a triangle, okay, brackets. But if you going to enter a system view, it will going to show you is a square bracket. Then you know now this command is as a system view. So remember, you only can rename your device name under a system view. So now how you going to rename? You have to using a syntax system name, sys name. So you just follow datacom router. So remember, I want you to put in your normal metric. Okay, you can go into put BI22, BI23, up to you lah. What actually is your normal metric. Okay, so on here I just put 1, 2, 3. Okay, then you enter. So now you see your device name is no more under the default Huawei. It will going to change to a datacom router, the name lah that you define. Okay, so again, how you going to define your router name? 6 name and the names that you want to put it. Okay, so next one we will going to explore from the system view. How actually you going to enter your interface view. Okay, interface here you looking got so many things you need to type, right? The sentence is quite long, the wording. So in case I forgot, I just remember interface, but I forgot how actually to spell the interface. I can just key enter the tab, T-A-B, one tab. So they will help me to complete. Example, I want to enter GEG. I also forgot how to spell the gigabit internet. So I can go in to put the one tab. So they will help me to complete on it. Then I will going to put the 000. So they will enter a on here, whenever each time you see the Ethernet, you see the GE Ethernet, okay? So basically you are enter is a interface view, or sometimes we call it is a port view lah, okay? Or the interface view. So how you going to leave it? You can just going to type cube to back to the system view. So remember from the user view, you are going to enter sys in order to enter a system view. So from the system view, how you going to enter the interface view? You need to type the interface. Okay, you can using a short form lah in int G000. Okay, so this one is the what actually on step 3 they want to you need to know lah. Okay, another example, if let's say sometimes I totally forgot what actually is a viable commands for me to do under this interface view. So I can just put a question mark. So they were going to display to me lah what actually is available. So if I want to view more, I just going to enter. So if I already, I want to do the extract, okay, link aggregations. So I just going to quit, okay, enter a queue to quit it, okay. So in case also sometimes I remember IP, but I also forgot what actually is the commands that I can go into use it. So I can go into put the question mark on here also. So they were going to tell me what actually is a relevant one. Or I can put a one space ADD. So I put a question mark. So they were going to tell me the address. Okay, this is how when you forgot the commands, and then how actually you are going to looking for as for a help lah, or tips or hints, okay, to recall back. Okay, so another one, now you already go through here how actually we going to assign the IP address, okay, for those interface. So remember, when you want to assign the IP address, you should go to the interface view. That means you need to go to that particular port. Okay, remember just now under this router, we have 2 GE, right? Gigabit Ethernet GE. Okay, so this one is the first one, and also we have a G001, and we have FE, right? Okay, so example, because now we still don't learn any protocol or network layer yet, we just example. I want to assign the IP address, okay, for this interface as a 192.168.1.1. Okay, so how I going to do it? Okay, I can just going to type IP address 192.168.1.1. So don't enter, you need to enter a subnet mask 24. 24, you can also type 255.255.255. Okay, but most of the times we will going to find the faster way lah, how you going to do the configuration. So you just going to enter 24. No worry why you need to enter 24 or 255 or what actually is an IP address. We will going to learn it in details on the topic IP addressing. So you going to key in enter. So now they actually going to assign the IP address to this interface G00. Okay, how I know it's assigned? So basically I can go into display list to show it, or I can go into type a short form display this. So they were going to tell you, okay, this interface I already assigned the IP address. Okay, with the subnet mask 24, 255.255.255.0 lah. But you can simplify it by typing 24. Why 24? 1, 2, 3. 3 at 24. So later IP addressing, I will teach you how you're going to count. Okay, now we go back to here. Example, in case sometimes, oh my God, I going to key in wrong. It's supposedly I need to assign 2. But now I wrongly key in as assign the IP address 1. So how you going to restore back or delete the commands that you have done? In a Huawei, is quite straightforward. You just need to undo. So for example, on here, okay, make sure if I want to do conduct the undo, restore back, I need to go back to the view that I entered the command. Example, now I wrongly assigned it. Supposedly, I need to provide the IP address of the 192.168.1.2, but I put it as a 1.1. So I need to go back to this interface. So now, example, we stay under this interface view, right? So you're going to undo IP address. So you're going to display this. You are going to see on this IP address, no more on this interface, no more IP address have been assigned because you restore back to the default one. Okay, so now you can go into reassign again IP address 192.16f.1.2 24. So you just key in and then display this. So you are going to see, okay, this one is a new IP address that you have going to view. Okay, display this is for you to view the current configurations for those interface. Okay, so you can go into, again, you can go into quit the interface. Or if let's say I stay under the interface, I want directly returns to the user view. So I can just go into returns. I think it's returns. Huh? So when you're going to type the return, so it will go into back to the user view. Okay, so this is how you're going to familiar yourself with the commands of the VRP Huawei configuration stack, device configurations. Okay, so now we will going to move again. We already done all the things here. Okay, again, if let's say you want to view the current device configurations, you can under your system view. So remember, it's under the system view. So you will going to put it display current configurations, or you can go into type the full sentence lah, but always you can go into type the short form. Okay, so they will going to show you what actually the configurations or the protocols or the security access control AAA authentication authorizations and accountings that you have do it. So you, if you want to view more settings, then you will going to key in. So you are going to see lah. So now on here you can going to see you have interface, Ethernet interface, but no IP address that you have assigned to them. Only the one GE you have assigned and another Z001 we did not assign. Okay, then you can go into view more lah if you want to view all. Okay, and then VLAN AC, you also did not have any setting there. Okay, so remember how you're going to view the device configurations. You need to enter a system view and then put in the command display current configurations, or you just put DIS current configurations. So in the exam, you can go into using a short form short command, no issue. Okay, so this one is going to show you how you're going to Control Z to stop. Okay, Control C. Okay, space bar to display the next screen. Okay, enter, go to the next line. Okay, so this one just now we already go through how you going to quit it. So the next one we will going to see how you going to example. You already do all the configurations. Okay, you already do all. So now you want to save okay, the configurations that you have done. So remember, you have to back to the user view. Then you're going to type the save command. Just save it. So they were going to pop up. Are you sure you want to continue to save it? So you just click yes, Y. Enter Y. So they will take a few seconds to complete. Okay. Then they were going to tell you the save is successfully. Okay, but now you only going to save your configurations. So how I know my configuration, where is it they save it? So you just like a Windows, you have a file system. You can go into create to store your Microsoft Word PDF file into your hard disk file system, right? Under your Windows. The same things, our configurations file, they were going to save it under the file system of this router devices, network device. So how you going to view your file system? You just going to enter directory dir, enters. Okay, so on here, they were going to tell you what actually the files that you have and what actually is the attributes that you can going to do lah. Okay, read and write. Okay, delete, read and write. Okay, so normally your configurations file, you will going to save it under the VRP CFG. Okay, VRP CFG. So it can be under the zip file or it can be under the .cfg file. Okay, it can be CFG or it can be a zip file. Must be either one. Okay, so whenever you're going to see .cc, that means it's some kind like the software lah for the VRP. Okay, you're going to look in, it's a software. Where is it, my .cc? Oh, here I don't have .cc. Okay, because it's you using a advanced versions lah. They were going to show you the cc there. Okay, so next one, you will go in CC is a software, VRP software that you have using. So the next one, example, if let's say I don't want to displace the default one, VRP cfg.zip, I can go into save my file and then I name it example. Always when you're going to finish your configurations, example for this lab, okay, you need to save everything before you close it. Otherwise, you need to redo it and submit lah. When you submit to me, it's a blank one. So make sure every time you done all the configurations, make sure your configuration is correct. You already verified it is correctly configured. Then you're going to save your configurations using save configurations and save it to your normal metric. You can go into name it Lab02. Okay, I going to name it as a BI22123 example. So you just going to type CFG. Example, I want to put it as a CFG there. So I just going to click enter. So they will going to reconfirm again. So yes. So it will going to take a few seconds lah for you to save the file. Okay, so now you want to check, okay, whether you have saved your file or you want to see, okay, when I going to start up. So what actually, which of the versions of the configurations that this device is using. So you can go into display, start up. Okay, so on here you are going to see your startup configurations. That means currently running one is still using a VRP cfg.zip file. Okay, and your next startup also is this one. Okay, so if you are using like this, myself, I did not save. Oh, sorry, I did not go into make, I forgot to complete this one. Okay, so if let's say you want to change your next startup, that means after I reboot, it will go into using the file that I already set, you save it on this one. Okay, so I will go into change it by using a keyword startup save configurations. I will go into using is always I avoid the typo. Okay, or sometimes you can go back to dir again. If let's say lah, you forgot what actually you have command already, you can go to a dir and then you copy this configuration file. Because just now I also forgot what actually I typed. Okay, or you can refer to the above commands there lah. Okay, so again, you can go into call out the previous one. Save configurations. No. Okay, I did not type it. Start up, save configurations file. So this one you just paste it. Okay, so you go into enters. So they will take some seconds. So you still can go into display your startup, or you can go into see okay, you can display your startup lah, because now we changed the startup setting, right? So you display startup. So you can go into see. Now your running version is a VRP, still the default one. So whatever you do the configurations, you are going to take the effect on the next startup. That means you need to reboot your system in order for them to take a effect. Okay, you can go into reboot it lah if you want. But if let's say I already changing on here, okay, I want to set it back, okay, to the default one. So I can just go into, if let's say lah, you already try all, oh my god, I doing all wrong, okay, then you can go into reset to the default setting. You just going to type reset, save configurations file. Okay, yes. So you just type yes. So they will go into clear your configurations. Then you can go into see your display startup. Why I always display startup. Okay, so none of the startup because you already reset your configurations back to the default. So you don't have any startup on that. Then you can try to reboot your device. So yes, you want to reboot on it. Okay. So for this lab, always after you done all the configurations, you actually can go into perform some of the verifications whether your configuration is correctly or not. But because on today's our topology, our SSI is quite simple. You just have one routers and then you're going to do some of the common things only moving for a different field to change your interface, your device name. Okay, so basically, you don't have any verifications you need to do lah. Okay, then okay, we start trying to answer the quiz. Familiar yourself with the functions key of the Huawei VRP system according to the sections 2.6. So make sure on here you go into familiar yourself with all the keyword on here, because sometimes Control Z, okay, Control X, all of this they will going to asking also under your HCIA Datacom exam there. Okay, step 5. Second questions are in step 5, the reset save configurations command is executed to clear the configurations. Why is the configuration is still retained after the device is restart? Remember, always reset, you go back to the default one. Okay, it means like example, I going to, no yet start. Okay, you go back to try the restart. You need a software to running, right? So you just going to restore back what actually the versions of the configurations you are using, because you already restore back. So of course they will going to return the default configurations there lah. Okay, so that's all for our labs. Hope you guys enjoy it and see you on lab 3. Bye bye.